Russian President Vladimir Putin has issued a stark warning to the West, declaring that any NATO or coalition troops entering Ukraine during ongoing combat will be treated as legitimate targets. Speaking in Moscow after returning from Beijing, Putin said foreign deployments would only confirm his long-standing claim that NATO has effectively invaded Ukraine. He argued that if troops arrive now, we are assuming it will be for a legitimate purpose to defeat them.
As far as possible military contingents are concerned in Ukraine, but this is one of the very reasons why Ukraine is invaded by NATO. So, if there are troops coming in, especially now during the combat, we are assuming it will be for a legitimate purpose to defeat them. But if solutions are reached that will lead to peace, a long-term peace, then I just see no point in their being in Ukraine. That's all.
At the same time, the Kremlin leader accused Kyiv of blocking serious negotiations, calling Ukraine's political and judicial institutions dysfunctional and corrupt. He repeated his willingness to meet President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, but only in Moscow, insisting Russia could guarantee security for such talks. But Zelenskyy quickly dismissed the idea, telling reporters in Paris that Putin's invitation was a tactic to delay peace efforts. Zelenskyy was in the French capital for a summit of the Coalition of the Willing, where French President Emmanuel Macron announced that 26 out of 35 participating countries are ready to commit either troops or military assistance to Ukraine. Macron stressed that these forces would not be deployed in direct combat zones, but in other geographical areas to provide reassurance once a ceasefire or peace deal is reached. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said partners had also agreed to supply Ukraine with long-range missiles.
Today we have 26 countries that have formally committed themselves. Several others are still clarifying their position. But 26 countries that have committed to deploying troops as a reassurance force in Ukraine or to being present on the ground, at sea, or in the air to provide this reassurance to Ukrainian territory and to Ukraine the day after the ceasefire or peace. It will be deployed within the framework of a ceasefire, not on the front line, but in geographies that will be defined.
Zelenskyy hailed the coalition pledge as a victory and said Kyiv was counting on a U.S. backstop. Leaders later briefed U.S. President Donald Trump, who warned of further sanctions if Moscow refused to engage in serious peace talks.
Thank you all. The pressure is working. The situation is becoming more complicated for the Russian economy and for those who trade with Russia. We will continue this line. Today we talked about new sanctions and also about secondary sanctions, about special tariffs in trade that can help. A strong Ukrainian army is and will be the central element of security guarantees.
The Paris summit also exposed divisions inside the EU. Hungary and Slovakia, still reliant on Russian oil, complained about Ukrainian strikes on the Druzhba pipeline. Zelenskyy revealed that Trump was very unhappy with both nations, accusing them of helping Russia's war machine. The developments underline a dangerous confrontation, Russia branding Western troops as invasion forces, while 26 nations prepare to embed deeper in Ukraine's future security.